it's Leonie Carpenter for Chelsea Fans TV. I am now joined by our favourite man. It's Lewis. Lewis, the face says it all, but I need to ask you some questions, otherwise there's no interview. Yeah. So, what did you make of that performance?
Shit. Same as we've been for the last 3 or 4 games, and it's been the same patterns and mistakes that we see time and time again that always come and rear its head. Like, we are just dog shit in transition, absolutely trash, and it's been clear since the end of the international break. Brentford battered us on the transition, Real Madrid battered us on the transition. What do? We leave ourselves exposed in the transition. Everyone has spoken after the Madrid game and said, Jorginho's the problem, he's the issue why we stink in transition. I don't want to hear a word of it after this. No one talks about N'Golo Kante, and I'm not saying this as like any sort of disrespect. I respect everything he's done for Chelsea, but if we're going to criticise and be objective about every single player. That pivot was a disgrace today. Kante and Ruben, they turned over the ball for fun for 90 minutes, and it weren't just them. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, Timo Werner was our best player today by a fucking mile. Yeah, I bet you enjoyed.
He's pleased a lot of people with that statement.
Werner by a mile was our best player. The only one with any sort of intent to try and win the ball back. The only person that tried to do anything when he had the ball. Mason Mount as well. I'll give him credit too, because he was a bit decent, and he did well for the second goal too. But other than that, useless. Lukaku. What the fuck did he do other than just jog around and miss headers for 90 minutes? Havertz, when he came on, did fuck all as well when he was on the pitch. The defence, all of them sucked. Silva, when he came on, he was craps. AC was poor, and he's been poor for the last 2 games. Well, 2 out of the last 3. He was good against Palace at least. Sarr was trash. James was poor. I don't even know where I start. Everybody was a joke today. Like, we have continuously overdone our worst performance of the season in our last 3 home games. I don't know where this changes, because we make the same mistakes whether we play in a back 5 or a back 4. We are just exposed in transition, and we're even worse when it comes to playing out the back. Like, Edouard Mendy's distribution today was trash, and it's been trash for a while. But since the Real Madrid game, it's constantly been a problem, and it needs to get better. The playing out the back just wasn't good enough today. We made it so easy for Arsenal, and when they were attacking, they looked more confident in the attack. We looked like we were trying to figure out what we were doing every single time we were building the ball forward. Arsenal already knew what they were doing. That was the difference between the two sides. They looked comfortable, and they were the away side. They were the more experienced side. They were the team going into more pressure going into this match. They had 1 win in 5. 1 fucking win in 5.
Let's talk about the team selection then, because you've mentioned the team. If you were Tuchel at the beginning of this game, what team would you have put out tonight then?
See, this is the thing, like, my only real problem when I saw the lineup was the midfield. I already knew we were getting smoked there as soon as I saw that pivot. Defensively, they just let him down. They all let him down, I'll be honest. Silva shouldn't have had to come on. He's played so much this season, he needed a rest, and he should have been given a rest for today. And we had to bring him on because, let's be real, AC looks like he's got 1 leg out the door. Sarr just wasn't good enough at all. Reece, best of a bad bunch. But that's been the problem. Like, going forward as well, I thought Havertz needs to be benched because I thought he was poor against Madrid in the second leg. I thought he was poor against Crystal Palace in the semis of the Cup too. So I understand the rotation. That's not necessarily my problem. My problem is the output from the players. Tuchel can't make Lukaku cover more distance and actually want to press and actually have some intent when he has the ball. Tuchel can't make N'Golo Kante stop giving away possession when he has the ball. He can't make the defence have brain cells when they have the ball and stop them from making individual mistakes all the time. Or Mendy's distribution. That's not on him. It's on the players, and we have been utter arse since the end of the international break. And thank God the likes of Arsenal have only won 1 game in 5. Because you know how important this game was meant to be about 3 weeks ago, before they lost to Palace, before they lost to Brighton, before they lost to Southampton. This was meant to be a game that potentially for 3rd place. Imagine we played like that and there was more on the line. At the very least right now, we're in a position where they'll probably still drop points. Tottenham will probably still drop points. We don't necessarily have to worry about the top 4 race right now. If we continue to play like this though, We will have to worry about it. And if we are in a top 4 race after talking about winning the Premier League, talking about conquering everything, coming as champions of Europe, 2021 Club of the Year, all of that's a fucking embarrassment. And a lot of these players need to have a look at themselves, because I'm sick of coming in and seeing fucking performances like that. I care about the effort, I care about the work, where you're going to talk about passion, intensity and all that bollocks. You want to see it on the pitch. You didn't see any of it today. It's a fucking London derby. These players look like they were in Hyde Park pre-match. It was fucking embarrassing from all of them. And we got another London derby against West Ham United, who are also going to be fighting for a top 4 race too. They need to be better coming out on Sunday, and I'm not even confident for that.
Are you not confident in Tuchel, or is it the players?
Not Tuchel at all, it's the players. You can question some of his decisions like in-game management, but I think you're allowed mistakes if it's rare, and it doesn't happen a lot. Tuchel has saved us so many times in the last 18 months. If he makes a mistake on the back of 1 or 2 games, I'll call it out, but it's not that deep. Mistakes happen, so I don't give a shit about that. The problem is the same players that make mistakes time after time after again. Kante has been mid for the last 3 months and nobody speaks about it, but you'll call out Jorginho when he has one poor performance. Agenda, I don't want to hear it. Timo Werner, I've called him out when he's been arse over the last 5 months. He's been brilliant the last 3 games. The defence has absolutely fallen apart, and that's meant to be the cornerstone of the way that we play. And it's falling apart at the wrong part of the season. Seriously, these players, I don't know if it's got something to do with the Real Madrid game and like we've just lost and like that was the only real competition that we're still in, but we need to be so much better, because that's not fucking good enough. A performance like that in a London derby against the likes of Arsenal, it's a fucking joke. It's an absolute joke.
Well, let's hope Tuchel is the man to sort this out. We know he can, but let's hope we still get the top 4. We should, shouldn't we, Lewis?
I mean, you fucking should, but we should have won like this match. It should have been cut and dry before the ball was even kicked. Same thing with Brentford. Not necessarily the same thing against Real Madrid, but it is what it is. We need to turn this around, and we need to actually play with a bit of confidence, because the one difference I saw between Arsenal and Chelsea was confidence. And they're the ones with 1 win in 5.
Like, they needed this today, didn't they? And this was arguably the game that they were going to show up.
Charity FC yet again turns around and rears his ugly fucking head again. Exactly. That's what the problem is.
Okay, Lewis, thank you so much. Well done, Lewis. Thank you. We're going to finish top 4 still.
Oh, win it. Congratulations, bro. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, bro. Enjoy it, bro. It's cool, man. It happens. You're mining.
Save the bridge, £1.